dear, what a mess. Didn't have a chance to brush my hair. Good evening. It's Friday, the 18th of August, the end of another week, and it's Trisha time. It's time for a little bit of, relaxation and enjoyment as I show you how to do a little bit of painting, fabric painting, with a little bit of free motion. So draw up your chairs, cup of tea at the ready. No pen and paper today because it's not fastest fingers first. Hello, Lindsay. Do you know, as soon as I start talking, my mouth salivates. So, good evening, Dorothy. Never mind. Hello, Vanessa. We'll soldier on. Hello, Shirley. And hello, Jeeta. Yeah, a little bit warm today. It's been muggy. It's rained a little bit. Hello, Jill. Hello, John. And yeah, just had loads to do. Hello, Julie. You will notice, well, I got up early this morning. Hello, Michelle. 6:30. In fact, hello, Wendy. Hope you're well. And I thought, right, let's crack on because I've got some painting to do for my daughter. Only a little bit of emulsioning the walls, but 6:30, 6:45. Hello, Pollyann. Yes, it has been muggy. Hello, Angela. And hello, Anne. I got cracking. Hello, Sharon. I paid all my outstanding invoices. Hello, Marion. I paid all, I did all my accounts. I sent email to the accountant. Hello, Sandra. I responded to all the emails, and hello, Heather, and I also went through all your orders on the website. Hello, Pat. Hello, Linda. Oh, you're back from holiday. I need a holiday now. I really, really do. Good evening, Kim. I missed somebody there. Hello, Lorraine and Fiona. How could I miss Fiona and Lorraine? How bad is that? It's because I was talking. But by the time Martin got up at 8:30, I had done all of that. Left the house at 9 o'clock, painted one of her bedrooms in the old house, came back because it wasn't dry enough to do the second coat. So, what did I do then? I had a little rest. Then they came round. Then we went out, school clothes, shoes, etc. Shopping cost me a fortune, but it's the grandchildren, isn't it? Then I came back and we went back to doing the painting and got myself ready, and here we are at 6:30. So you won't say that I've sat on my laurels today doing nothing, but it's all good fun, isn't it? I'm speaking like my old self. I don't really feel it, Jan, but yeah, I'm glad it feels like that to you. Evening, Sarah. Evening, Catherine and Ginny. Oh dear. Oh, that's okay, Jeeta. Hopes all is well. I know, I do need to lie down. Actually, about 5:45, when I was getting my bits and pieces together, I thought I could go to sleep. I really did feel, what's going on overhead? They're watching out for me. I think they're coming for me. Didn't realise I'd done anything wrong, but I do need to lie down, most definitely. Hello, Sue. You must be on hold. How lovely. Or are you that way? I can't remember. Yeah. Could do a few days away. One day, perhaps next year, when Martin's walking again. Hello, Jill. Hello, Tony. Hello, Vanessa. Something new again tonight? Absolutely. We always like something different, don't we? Hello, Ellen. Hello, Shirley. Hello, Jill. Michelle's done nothing today. No, you're recovering though, Michelle. So best to rest and get perfectly well before you crack on into the normal routine. Hello, Janet. Hello, Jane. Facebook didn't work tonight. Oh, no. There's my taxi. Yes. Yes, my taxi. I wonder where they're taking me. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Christine. Hello, Kirsten. Oh, that's where you live. Oh, well, you don't need a holiday, Sue, do you? Sorry, yes, you do. How's Martin? Martin is, he says he's okay. He's no better. But he soldiers on. He's waiting for that new hip. And then he can get back to normal. Hello, Christine. Yes, Malvern Quilts. Yes, October. I've got to book that in, haven't I? Hello, Sandra. I'm feeling fine, actually. I must admit, I have got far more energy than I've had in a long time. So I do seem to be doing a fair bit just because I feel like I can. But at the same time, I'm doing all the things that I need to do, you know, visits and helping out the grandchildren and getting things done. So it is quite nice. It is quite nice because I've got the energy to do that. Mum's still the same, but no, she's improving a little bit. But I've told her that she mustn't go without either a stick or a frame until at least next week. She says it's improving, but when she does a little bit too much, it goes back again, because that's what's happened this week at one point. And that was with me telling her she couldn't walk into the home. I said to her, no, we'll use the wheelchair, but she's not too bad. You know, mentally, absolutely fine. She said she feels like a fraud sitting in a wheelchair, but if the leg doesn't work, you shouldn't push it. I'll have a word with her tonight, see how things are as well. Pollyann needs to lie down. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. He's definitely obsessed with Lego and we're obsessed with fabric, so makes no difference, does it? Each to their own. Oh, it's been windy with you, Elaine. It was the first thing this morning here, but it seems to have died down a bit. That's why we've got the mugginess. Oh, tree branch in the garden. Oh, yes. Janet has just got here tonight. Lovely. Oh, right. Dentists are really making money out of us, aren't they? All these teeth that keep being pulled or filled or whatever. Hello, Judith. Hello, Patricia. And yeah, Dad's very sleepy at the moment. So yesterday I went and he did talk briefly, probably a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, and he said, my eyes are too tired. He knows we're there, he listens, but yeah, he's declining, basically, but he's still with us, So I shall go tomorrow. I haven't been today, but I shall go tomorrow and see how things are. What he usually does, he has 3 sleepy days, and then another day he's just full of life speaking. Well, not full of life, but he's talking. It just wears him out. But we shall see. Lynn, you noticed. You know, I said to him when we'd finished, I said, what do you close these curtains for? And he said, well, I think people could see me. And I said, perhaps they could. But yes, he did close the curtains. I didn't notice when he was doing it, but obviously when we'd finished, I did. Oh, lovely, Catherine. Yes, I think children love. Is it your granddaughter? Yes, they love an embroidery machine. Oliver at the minute, he wants to help with everything. He wanted to help with the painting, but it just had to be done quickly and, you know, done, and not loads of spillages everywhere. When he was painting with me outdoors, it really didn't matter if it went on the grass or, you know, on their legs, we could clean that. But this was a case of it had to be done, you know, 90% perfect, if you can call 90% perfect. But, so, yeah, he didn't. He played outside instead. Storm Betty's on the way. Oh, my goodness. Janet's just taking time out. Oh, lovely. Oh, this is moving a little bit. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Shirley. Oh, it's arrived with you, Sharon. Oh, goodness. Autumn's arrived. Do you know, these days it does middle of August, you think it's autumn. And then we get that autumn sunshine, don't we, in September. So let's hope we get that. Hello, Bev. And hello, Jack. You're looking forward to tonight. I love watching an embroidery machine. Hello, Carol. Don't worry, I have only just stopped talking. That's the very last comment at the moment that I have seen. So, shall we crack on? No, I didn't actually. So, hello, June. Hello, Liz. Last week, Lindsay kindly put the rerun of when I use the Inktense pencils We did a little bit of free motion with using the ink tents. And, but a little while ago, I got an idea of using fabric paints, but on a different base, which I haven't done that yet because I need to find a little project to show you. But I think it was last week when I showed you this, and I thought I needed a little bit of play time. So I had to play with these because I thought I hadn't touched them yet. So this is what I have got. I don't think they were that expensive. I can't remember, but I got them from the Big River, and they are PBO brand, Cetacolour. So they're fabric paints, and once dry and ironed, they are fixed. So a dry iron just to heat set them, and that is what I used. Now, I spend my time doodling sometimes, and I don't mind drawing flowers. They're stylised flowers, I would say, because they're not realistic, you know, they're not roses and daffodils and lilac, you know, that sort of thing. They're just doodly flowers that I like to do. So that is what I'm going to show you how to do tonight. And this is, I couldn't find this when we were about to start. So those are the paints. PBO are very, very good brand. This is what I'm going to show you how to do. Now, believe it or not, but these are all done freehand, if you like. I didn't draw on the fabric. I just doodled with the machine in the areas. So they're not perfect, but overall, so yeah, I am relaxing, I am. So it's just a case of playing with the machine. Now, if you feel a blank canvas is a little bit too much, if you feel you need a few guidelines, by all means draw some flowers. You could draw them with a friction pen because any ironing will take away those marks. You could draw them with a pencil because you know, if you just wanted to, where I've gone around and around and around for the, it is doodle it on a piece of fabric first of all. This is when I do free motion, I have a little practice bit first, because even if you're used to doing it, it's good to just get into the mood, if you like, so that you know exactly sort of where you're going to be going. So this was a blank canvas, and I just made sure that all the stitching was okay, because sometimes you get loops on the back, but that's worked really well. And one of the ways of preventing that is to have wadding. I like to have wadding. It gives your quilting or your free motion, oh, never mind, Catherine, you can catch up. If you have some wadding, it's like a stabiliser, if you like. It helps. So I just had a doodle of that. Just get a feel for the sort of things you want to do. So that was my play. And then I thought, do you know, let's put a little bit of paint on there. So this is what we're going to do. So I've got myself, yes, just here. I've got myself a little bit of fabric. Now, let me show you this close up. Perhaps not. No, it's just a bit. I had, perhaps it was another one I did. I had some, the fabric I was using was, it was a white on white. So can you see I've got a little pattern in there. I've used thermolam wadding, which is 100% polyester, and it's the felt-like one. So you can see there, not very thick, but it is like felt. Can't see through it, and it just gives a nice flat. It gives body, and it's flat. So I haven't, because the thermolam, the fabric sits on it really quite well. I haven't even put any fabric spray adhesive on there to hold it together, but you could do that if you wanted to. But as you see, I've got that little design on there, and the design that they print on here is like, I don't know, a plastic, I don't know what it's based on actually, but it is water resistant. So when I paint over this, it's going to give a little bit of dimension. You'll see some of the areas don't take the paint and the other areas do. So let's see, it's a bit close together to be honest, but it'll be fine. So that was a little bit that I'd got out. So let's just pop this down here for a moment. And I can work on the machine extension table. In actual fact, let's pop it onto here. And what I'm thinking, so I've popped it on my pressing mat just to give a base for me to, and I'm not going, a base for me to paint onto, but it's not, we're not going to saturate it so much that it goes through. But before we start the free motion, what we're going to do is dry it off. So, let's see. So I've got myself, get yourself a palette if you've got one, or not, as the case may be. Let's just see if I can just pull that up just slightly so you can see there. So I can just push that out of the way a little bit, because I've got a little bit of water on there. So I've only put a tiny bit, you can see that there, and I've got an area here which isn't, which won't have the water on. I have just got a bog standard paintbrush somewhere. Where's it disappeared? Oh, it's gone under there. Right, so it's only a children's paintbrush. If you've got a better quality one, all well and good. But this is, I don't know where it's from, to be honest. So it's just an ordinary, bog standard, cheap paintbrush. And the idea, I think we'll use that green again. I'm going to have a grassy area down here, and then I'm going to have some blobs of colour up here, which will be my flowers. So these Cedar Colour have actually got a little bit of pearlescence in them. So once you, they're water-based, so I'm going to actually, what am I going to do? I'm going to make them thinner and runnier by adding water. And I don't want it to be extremely thick colour, I just want it to be a wash. Let's see if I put that, I'll put that just there so that you can see. So you can see where that wash is along here. And it gives like a little watermark as well. So when I have shook my little jar, they're only small, but I'm sure they will go a long way. 20ml pots, ample in there. But I dip into the lid. So if you take a little bit on your brush and then pop it on the plate, and then I'm just going to take some water so that I make this a lot more liquid. And also it will reduce the colour from being an intense colour. So let's just put a little bit of water there. That looks fine, a little bit, because I am going to brush along this edge. So it's only going to be quite random. I'm going to take a little bit more water because we might need quite a little bit. So I'm just, and look, you can see the leaves coming out there. So let's just see, I don't want to, so we'll just give this a bit of colour here. And it absorbs it very well, apart from where those leaves are, obviously. And let's just do a bit more here. So we give a little bit of colour. And as you can see, I am just doing random. I think we need a little bit more now. So I'll just put a little bit more colour here and just wash that around. So it might be a little bit darker than the rest, but it doesn't matter because it's just going to dry like so. And I'm not going right to the edges because when it becomes something, as the lovely Christine suggested, it could be a nice little circular pot, the other one, but I just haven't got round to doing it. Okay, so I'm just going up a little bit there, just make it a little bit wavy, and a little bit more there. And then, you know, it looks natural, if you like. So put a bit of colour on there, a little bit lighter there, absolutely fine. Just put a tiny bit there. Okay, now my brush now is practically no colour in there at all. So we'll put a little bit of colour on for where our flowers are going to be. So let's see what colours perhaps we could do, might do similar. We'll have a little bit of pink, sort of magenta. We could have a little bit of yellow. Oh, let's have a little bit of blue as well. So quite similar to what I've got there really. So we just have yellow, pink and blue. So first of all, I'll go with the pink. So again, just shake the pot. That's it. There's plenty in here. And I'm going to take some of that colour, just swish it around there. And I'm not worried if the other colours come into it at all, but I just want to have a nice, so I'm going to do up here, we'll do a sort of circle, and we'll do it in, so you can see I'm not taking any, there we are, just swiveling it around. I'm not worrying about the intensity of the colour. I'll do bigger and smaller ones. Let's take a little bit more water into there. We'll have a little one down here. So I'm doing these so that they are like a flower. I'm going to do similar. Let's just move that there a bit. I'm going to do similar size circles, but I'm doing them, as you see, across. Let's put another one there about that sort of size. So wasted a little bit there. But you can see they're differing in colour. But once we have free motion on them, so what I could do is put a little bit more water, that's it. So again, I'm just going to rinse that bit out. And I think that's, so you can make another colour. They can mix together and you can make other colours from them. So let's do a little bit of yellow just to brighten it up a little bit. So again, I'm going into my lid. We'll get a little bit of yellow over here. Might even come out a little bit orangey if that pink goes into it, but we don't mind. So let's do a little circle there. With the blue, I'm going to do, perhaps I'll do 3 together here. So, and then they can be like a little cluster. So I've gone over together, but it doesn't matter. We'll do a little bit of yellow there. Save a little space for where I can have some of my blue ones going in. So let's have a little yellow one there. So these might be like daisy type. Now let's just have a look to be different. Let's just, there, I've mixed the pink and the yellow together. So we're going to have a slightly different colour there. We've got an orangey one. Let's put a little orangey one here as well. Okay. And then I've left a little bit of space so that we can use the blue. Now the blue, as I did before, I did a different type of flower. Can you see that one? It's like longer. It's a little bit like lavender. So it's a little bit of a longer shape. So we can paint like an oblong on its end. So a little bit of blue there into, let's go down here. Oh, actually, let's move that around because that's just liquefied it totally, hasn't it? Oh dear. There we are, but never mind. So that, the water is a little bit over there. Let's keep the water up here. Take a little bit more of the blue and just swizzle that around so that I've got a very fluid water there. So where shall we put? We could put a long blue one there. So there we have a long blue one. Let's just water that down a little bit more. We'll have another little one here. Okay. And then perhaps we could have, let's just move that over just a little bit without tipping it. I'll have one up here as well. Okay, so there's another little area. And we could have another little area there of blue. And I think just to balance it out, oh, I've got a bit of blue there. To balance it out, because I haven't got any, whoops, over here, have I? So let's have one not too close to the edge. It's just a little bit harder to work if anything's very close to the edge. So we'll have a little bit there. Might need another little bit here. So, and you can make the thickness of the colour vary as you go across with the painting. So where else? Well, let's just do one up there. Okay, and that'll do. Now it's a good idea actually to do quantities of 3. So we've got 3 up there. Don't know what that's going to look like, but we can do, so that is my, I'll take that away. Now I've got it on the pressing mat because I want to dry this off. So I have got the iron here because I want to, and I've got it on the pressing mat, and I just want to give it a little bit of heat to dry it out before we start free motion quilting, free motion embroidering. Usually I would say it's free motion quilting if you have got wadding underneath it, and it's free motion embroidery if you've just either got nothing or you've just got a stabiliser such as stitch and tear, which just makes the stitching a whole lot better. It's just, oh, that's warmed up nicely. So let's just give this a nice warm, just a heating, just to dry that out. I can see where those darker areas, they're a little bit wetter, but by doing this, we will absolutely dry it out and it will set that colour anyway. So you can see as we dry it out, the colours are going a little bit more subtle. They've gone a little bit lighter. That one's good in that it's dark anyway because I put a more intense paint mix on there. And the grass is a little bit as well. So I think that will do. Let's flip it over to the back. You can see that hasn't actually come through. That's nice and warm there. There we go. And just give that a little bit more. So I think we're done. So we have actually dried that out and we're ready to go with our free motion embroidery. So we can take the mat away. I'll show you this close up. So, you know, actually it looks probably a little bit of a mess, but and I haven't put any fabric underneath here because I found when I did put fabric on another piece, it doesn't slip very well. So you want the base of your, you know, your machine. If you've got an extension table, best to use that because you want your fabric to be able to slip. Now I can feel that slipping really nicely. If it doesn't slip, that's where it's hard to push it around to get the motion you want. Now if you have got, there's a horseshoe shaped tool which has foam at the back, and you can lay that on here and use that. It's something to hold on to and push your fabric while you're doing the stitching. Or as I do, I might have my hands like this, or sometimes I'll hold the edges and pull it like so. If you've got an embroidery hoop, you could put it in an embroidery hoop, and you have to lift your presser foot so that the embroidery, the wood part, goes underneath, and then you can hold on to the edges of the embroidery hoop and do your drawing. So what do we need for doing our free motion? Well, for doing our free motion, the first thing we need to look at is these things here. Let's lift this up. These little teeth here underneath the foot are called feed dogs. Now if I've got to take, I've got to use also a free motion embroidery foot. So I'm going to get one out, and then if I take this foot off, and the majority of machines will need one foot being taken off to put the other one on. So with the screwdriver usually that comes with your machine, we will take that standard foot off, and the screw doesn't actually need to come out because with this one is a dukey. There is just a little slot there which goes up the shaft here, and the thread of the screw just sits in there, and then you tighten the screw up. So that's my standard foot. So what you can see here, these little bits here are the, let's see if we can come in a little bit further. These are the feed dogs. There we go. So these little teeth that are zigzaggy, they're the feed dogs, and they take your fabric through the machine. When you put your fabric underneath, these raise, they either go in a box feed, which means they go around in like a rectangle, and they feed the fabric through. When we're doing free motion, because we are doing the feeding of the fabric, we need to lower those feed dogs. Now on a dukey, can we see just here, there is a little dial. Oops, now let's go that way. And on here, there's a level line showing the feed dogs. Oh, we've got the feed dogs there. So I'm going to drop them. I'm going to move this lever to the other side. Let's just have a look. Go down here. See if you can see the feed dogs dropping. At the minute, I can feel they're up, and now they've gone down. That is now smooth across there. You can see there's nothing. So here, I can go like that. Whereas if the feed dogs were up, it would catch on the wadding at the other side. Now, I don't know, I wonder if you can see. Can you see that sparkle now on the paints? There's like a very fine mica in there. It looks really quite pretty. So, now that my feed dogs are down, looks there's a little bit of fluff there. Let me just see. Don't like fluff. So let's see. Oh, here we go. There's my pin cushion. Let's see if I can just take that out. I defluffed this machine only the other day. So I can see. There we go. Let's pull that. Just trying to pull that up, because fluff does get in the way of us doing really good stitching. That's it. I can see that's gone. That's probably gone inside, but got that little bit gone. So we have our feed dogs out. Now, with a lot of machines as well, it may be that you take your extension table away. They could be at the back, behind where your needle, where your head is, or they could be at the front, underneath here. So underneath my table just here. It might be a lever, quite a small lever, that you just nudge to the side, but you'll see that your feed dogs have dropped down. So the next thing we need is a free motion foot. Now, as you can see here, a lot of free motion feet have a spring. This helps with, it's called a hopper. This helps with the formation of your stitch because it actually jumps up and down. And a lot will also have like a lobster claw, and the lobster claw needs to go around the screw where that holds your needle in. So I haven't got another one here to show you, but so this will, and then this will attach. See this part of the arm here? It attaches around this main shaft. So I'll just pop this to the back, and that goes around the screw, pulls against the shaft, and we'll do the screw up. Now, as I say, with a lot of machines around this side, there's a little lobster claw. So it's like a horseshoe shape on the side, if you like. And it has to go round that bar, because when your needle is, when it's doing the stitching, the needle, you'll see, goes up and down. And what that lobster claw will do is go up and down with, so it will take the foot up and down with the needle going up and down as well. So I've tightened the free motion foot there, and I haven't changed any of my stitch lengths or widths. Some people will say, oh, you need to change them down to 0. For free motion, I never change anything, because at the end of the day, it is up to you how quickly you move the fabric under the machine like this, or how slowly. So if you move it slowly, your stitches will be longer. If you move it fast, if you're moving the fabric quickly, but the speed of the machine is slow, you'll get big stitches. If you are, if the speed of the machine is quite fast, and you're pushing it fast, that's fine. So it's fast and fast, rather than one fast, one slow. So you must relax when you're doing this as well. Otherwise, you get a lot of tension in your shoulders. So just relax, you can breathe, and always remember you can stop. You don't have to let the machine keep going. You can either take your foot off the pedal, or if you've got a machine that doesn't or can work without the foot pedal and you've just got a button here where you stop and start, use that, because you can set your speed control to a medium to fast-ish. I wouldn't have it set at the highest speed, but also I wouldn't have it set at the slowest. You might think, well, I've never done it before, so I'll have it really slow. Have it at the mid-speed, and that way, all you've got to think about is how fast you're moving your fabric underneath the needle. If you're doing like I'm doing with a foot control, you need to try and keep your foot as steady as you can, so that, oh, I'll put my press foot down there, so that, why is that? Oh, that's down a bit. So have I not got that? Let's just put that down, needle up. Okay, that's right. So what we're going to do, I am going to make lots of little teardrops. Let's put this under here to show you. So I'm going to make lots of, so with the yellow ones I'll do very fine, like daisy-like petals. And all I'll do is start in the middle, come out to the edge of the colour. Might go a little bit further than the edge of the colour, it might be inside the colour. But then going back to the middle all the time. So, but for the pink one, I think because I've got bigger blobs, I'm going to do a bigger petal. And then I'll put a little, like a little spur up the middle of each to give it a bit of shape, a bit of dimension. So let's see how we go. So I'm starting in the middle. I've got my hands at each side, and I'm just going to, so you can hear the machine going, can't you? And I'm going out to the outside and coming back to the middle. And I'm just thinking of this little teardrop shape. Now I'm going to stop there because I don't really want that piece of thread. And I tend to chop those away as I'm going. So I can't see my little snips. I do like my little snips for this. So I'm just going to trim that off. Otherwise you end up stitching over it and then it's harder to get the thread out. So let's carry on stitching. So you can hear the machine. I'm not going at full pelt. So around there, fill in that last little gap, and then I'm going to go around and around in the centre. So we'll stop that one. So I've just cut the thread, and there is my little design in the middle. So I'm going to do this one over here now, and I'll start in the middle. This one I'll do slightly bigger petals, so the same shape, start in the middle, come out to the edge, and curve round back to the middle. And if you want to put some little guidelines, so I'll go right up to the edge of the pink colour there. Okay, like that. And I think we'll get one more in there. Now this time, I'll stop in the middle. I'm going to come out up the centre. So let's go, so we'll go straight out and then back to the centre, up the middle of the next one, up the middle of the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and then up the middle. So I'm just going backwards and forwards. We can go round in the middle as well. So you can see that one there. So the same but a little bit different. Could you use this technique for so many unique makes? You could indeed. So let's go over to this pink one here, and we'll do the same sort of thing. Obviously this one's a little bit smaller, but we will go out from the middle and around, and we'll leave this one just as a little circular with a middle. Now I'm cutting my threads in between each one because I'm being a little bit lazy, but you could pull your thread all the way up and then stitch it in afterwards by hand, or just for the fun of it, let's go around the middle. So I've done another little pink one there, and then we'll start here. So once you've got used to doing this flower design, so I haven't gone right to the edges of this one, I've just done a smaller design, and then I'll do this one. By all means, turn your fabric round. So this one I'm going to go right out to the edges of the colour. There we are. So you've got your guidelines at the edge. You're working with the middle, like there. And it really doesn't matter if your petals are an odd shape, like they are there. Round and round in the centre, and done. So we've done all the pink ones. Let's do a little yellow one. And then with the yellow one, now what I should have done there is I should have done some stems. Sometimes I put them on afterwards, but let's take that thread out of the way for a moment. So I've got the thread out of the way there. So I'm going to do the small. I'm going to do those narrow daisy-like. So they'll take a little bit longer, but I'm not leaving as big a gap in between the petals. So I'm just coming back very close to that first line of stitching. This daisy's got, and I'll go round in the middle. Now before I go any further, I'm going to go straight down to the grassy area. So let's go straight down, and then what I'm going to do along the stem, we'll make some little pieces of like little grassy bits coming off the edge of the stem, like that. Okay, and then we can stop at the edge of the flower. Now as a work in progress, so all I did, I came down and then I went up and out a little bit and back down to the stem, up the stem a bit further and went the other side, and all the way up till I'd given a little bit of dimension on each side. Let's just trim that thread off there and there. So we will do, let's do this other little yellow one here. You do whatever style of flower you would like, but shall we go for similar again? So we'll do just very tiny petals and out to the edge. And I can see it sparkling away here with all that, as I say, those glints of mica. And it just makes it look as though these flowers are very similar. So I'm going to come down to the grassy area, and then I'm going up a little bit into the side, back to the stem, up that main stem again, out to one side, up to the next, up the stem, and then back up to the centre of the flower. So we have 2 stems there. Now I'm going to do a slightly different one. We'll go back to this pink one here now, and let's come out of the centre and down, and this time I'm going to do some petals. So when I come away from the edge of the flower, I'm coming back in that teardrop style. So this one has got leaves on it. Okay. So I'll go up to there, and I'm going to come down again. And I thought we should perhaps, I've stopped just at the bottom, but I think perhaps, perhaps we should have, whoops, a little bit of grass here. So what I'm going to do, there we are, I'm going to go a bit sideways. So let's go sideways here and across here, go a little bit further and back again and down here. Whoops, and then I'm just moving that across. And here I might put a little tuft of grass. There we are. So we've got some little tufty bits there. And then, so I'm moving to the side here. So a little bit like backwards and forwards, This is really, we'll stop there, a little bit of artistic license. So I've got that one there. I've got this little pink one at the top here. I've got a flower under there as well though. So I'm going to go down from here. We'll put a little leaf or two on there. Now, I'm going to, because the stem will come down here, I'm going to jump over that flower and we'll come down here and we can go back up, we can come down again and we can put some leafy bits on the side as well. So have a practice at these type of leaves and then you'll know exactly what you're aiming to do. Now let's go over, or let's do this little yellow one, or the peachy coloured one. Perhaps we'll do that slightly different. So let's do a bigger flower. So we're going out. So this one is not the same as the daisy type. We'll have 6 petals there. And we could go up. So I'm doing opposites. I'm just going up the centre, just to make this flower look a little bit different. Right, that one's done there. And then these little yellow ones here, let's see if we can do all of these. So we'll do the big petals again. We'll pretend these are different to the daisies. Right, and we'll go down all the way into the grass. And we'll have tiny leaves coming out there. And what we could do actually, we could have another head coming off. So let's do a little head. There's no colour here, but we could have another little flower coming off there. And back to the stem. And we'll have a leaf there. And then I'll come back down to the bottom again because I might want to do a little bit more grass coming over here. So let's go back that way first. And then we'll go over here. So I'm just taking it to the side, nice and easily. And back again. And back again to there, all the way across. And I'm just keeping a nice continuous line. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go backwards and forwards, or up and down. So this is like a grassy edge. And then I'll go carry them a little bit further. We'll do a little grassy bit here. And then a little bit further across here. We'll do a grassy bit there. Now we've got a little bit of a mound, haven't we, in that one? So along the top of this grass here, just going up and down, just gives you a little bit of practice on the grass. And I'm just going to stop just there. Now, the blue ones. These ones are going to be a little bit longer. So what we're going to do with these, I'm going to start at the bottom. So let's start in the middle actually, on this blue one here. So that blue one in the middle there. I'm going to start at the bottom of it and go right up the middle. So I'm going to the middle to the top and I'm going to come back down again. Now this time I'm going to do like, I'm going to go out to the side and do that teardrop. And then I'm going up the stem and back and around. And so it's a little bit like an ear of corn. And then when I get to the top, I'm going to do one at the top and I'll come back down the other side. So all the time I'm coming back into that centre spine. So we've got that done, and then I'm going to come down here, big long stem, and this time when I do my leaves I'm going to go up the middle. So I'm going to give that a middle part, and I'm filling in the gaps. So there's a gap, an area of white there. So I've done the leaf on the side, can you see there? And then we'll go up a little bit further, so there's a gap there, and then I'm just going up the middle for like the vein. And then up there. So this is quite a tall, spiky flower. And it's got the leaves with that spine up the middle. And it really, when you've got going, it doesn't take very long at all. So here's a little blue one. So again, we start at the bottom, up to the top of it, back down, and then we do our little, we do a rounded petal coming out to the side, around, and I'm staying basically within the coloured area. So I'm doing the colours on the outside, and I'm going to go round the edge of that flower because I want to have, I'm going to have a leaf, I want to have a stem here. Not much room for a leaf, but I'm going to have one coming off there, like that. I'm going to go down again. I'm going to stop there and just jump over so that I can go down here. So this is the stem being grounded on the grass. So we've got a little bit of room to have a leaf and around and up the middle, and we'll go back to that small flower there. So again, here we've got another one. So, whoops, no, I started at the top. Let's just start at the bottom. Start at the bottom, all the way to the top, and all the way back down again. So then that daisy just going from the centre spine out to the middle. There we are, and back to the centre, rounded. The top I just do one on its own, and then come back down the other side, making those little the petals that are coming down the centre stem. So again, we have got a flower in the way, but I'm going to put a leaf just there. So I'm going back up. So you can go over the same area as many times as you like. So I'm going to stop there, but I'm going to go below this flower, into the grass. I'll go back up again and come back down. And then we'll do a leaf with the veins up the middle, and we'll have another one there with the veins up the middle. Okay, I hope you're not getting bored, but you will absolutely love doing this. What I should have done, I'm going to do this one. I've got two here. I should show you with a piece of paper, because it's a good idea to actually draw with paper so you know exactly where you're going with the machine. When I've taught free motion classes before, that's exactly what I would do. So let's just trim that bit of thread, and then I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to avoid that. So down here, and again we've got leafy space there. We'll do a big leaf there, and then I'll just do the leaves on that one side, because we have that artistic license, and you can do just what you like. We'll have one in that gap there and out. Okay, so let's just cut that away, and oh, there's another little bit there. We've just got a few over here. Now if you want to, you could turn it upside down and work here if you want to. So let's do that. So let's start with this one upside down, and we'll go, so I am going from the bottom to the top, but then I'm going to go around and around, or perhaps I'll go the other way around this time. So I'm going a little bit above the previous one, back to the stem, and then we'll do the same there. So always back to the stem. So that didn't go out as far as I wanted it to, but it doesn't matter. And this one there, and that one around there, and that one around there. Right, I'm going to turn it back round because I'm going to do, so this is where you don't want it really to go too close to the edge, because I've got nothing to hold on to. So again, I'm doing those nice big leaves with the veins going up the middle. Mind your fingers. We'll do another one here. Okay, so there's that one. So we have got one more blue here to do, a spider. So I've got enough space here, so start at the bottom, up to the top, and then a flower, flower petal, flower petal, flower petal, and then we'll go back round again, and down, and down. I think we could get one petal in, one leaf and stop, because we do need to get another leaf down here. So big gap here, so we can get a few leaves in here. Just so that we've got no negative spaces. Good to have a little space. I'm not saying fill it completely, but where there are white spaces, let's fill them in. And we'll stop there. We'll do this one's leaves. So this is the pink flower. So we'll just go straight down to the bottom, and this just had the little arms coming out, which were just straight lines. So we'll just fill those in, just so that we can, there we go. And you just go at whatever speed you like, you put whatever foliage you would like. So there we go. Now these little yellow ones, the last ones, let's do something slightly different. What we could do, so this one here, let's not start in the middle, and let's just do a shape of a flower. So I'm just going around like little scallops around the outside, and we'll stop there. But then I do believe we need a centre circle, so we'll just go round so that we have a centre there. And then we'll do another little one here. So we're doing a scallop just around. So it's like one of the basic flower patterns if you die cut to do, or if you did some applique. So we're just doing another one there, and we'll stop there. And then we'll do a little circle there. Then we're going to have one more here. Let's just do a scallop. We can go the other way around if you want to. One. They'll probably have, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. And we'll do a little circle here. And the other thing I should say, if you want to go in again afterwards with more paint, by all means do. You might think you want to have a little bit darker colour on the leaf parts. Just go in again and add a little bit more paint. Can I see the... That's it. Okay, so we'll do a little circle of stitching there. I haven't filled it in, but when we come to join this together, all these bits of thread, what we could do is pretend that they are off of one stem. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come down from this one. We'll miss that little bit here. And I'm going to go over and join that little yellow one to it as well. And then I'm going to go over to that one, and I'm going to join those as if they're all coming off one stem. I won't have any leaves or foliage there, but I will go a couple of times. And then perhaps at the bottom, let's just have a very long leaf there, and a long leaf there. And then I think the very last one here didn't have any stem on there, so we need to have a stem. So we can go up and down there twice, and I'll do my leaves from the bottom, and just a little one there. Okay. Now, I do think here we need a little bit more grass in between. So this is along the lines of, I'm just going up and down, just where the edge of the greenery is. So up and down, just mind those leaves. So you can go up a little bit higher, and then down a little bit. That's it. And then we'll have a little bit of greenery here. And perhaps we'll go over there. That's it. So you can just do exactly what you want to do. So we'll take that over there and back again. So I can see it's come out a little bit differently, but that is the whole idea. As you can see here, There's a bit of greenery. I might, can you see how that, might take a little bit of paint up here, just to colour that in. But it is a case of you do you have to own up in the swap groups? Oh, what question is that? Okay, so that is today's one as opposed to that one. So, as I say, it is entirely up to you. I can go back in here and where we have got these leaves up here, or the stems, you can put a little bit of green there. Oh, I've missed one, haven't I? Oh yeah, there's another little bit of light blue there. I could have finished that, couldn't I? Okay, so what have you been talking about? Some people I see. Oh yes. Right. Okay, Wendy, you can't draw a straight line with a ruler, never mind, you don't have to do a straight line. If you look really closely, they're not straight lines. They are just, as I say, you have artistic license. You can just do whatever you like. What I would say though, do just give it a try like this. I meant actually to have a little play just to make sure it worked nicely, but it did. Just doodle. And as I say, the first thing I would do, pick up a pencil and paper and draw, just draw. Keep your pencil tip on the paper, don't lift it up. It's as if that is your needle. And you don't stop and start. Because you're pushing it under there, it's like having the pencil attached to your paper and you're just keeping moving it. So when you want to go to a different area, like this one, just draw around and then do another flower and then do a little bit further and do another flower. So you just keep playing, and it's amazing what you can actually do in the end, excuse me, once you've had a little play. It is a bit daunting, I will say, to begin with, if you've never done it before. Okay, and it is good to practice. I would say, if you're new to patchwork, if you're new to sewing, you will actually find it easier than those that have been doing it for a long, long time. Those of us with preconceived ideas where there's angles and there's accuracy and it has to be just so, it is a little bit liberating to go free, if you like. That's why it's called free motion. You do what you want to do, which is totally against the grain of 1/4 inch seams, nicely matching points. So if you haven't got used to all of that now, doing this, as I say, will probably come a lot easier to you. So I'd always say, just give it a go. And if at first you don't succeed, stop, go away from it, come back to it a week or so later, and every time you give it a go, it gets easier. Once upon a time when I first started, I thought, I can't do this. But the more you do, the more you can. And sometimes, who is her? Helen Godden. Have a look at YouTube or Pinterest. An Australian lady called Helen Godden, Godden. She is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. She really, really is. Have a look at her work. She uses Inktense pencils and paints, and she does free motion, but hers are, they're not like mine. They're not like this. They are actual beautiful, beautiful pictures. So remember the name, Helen Godden. Brilliant. Goodness, so much that I don't. I'm so glad you joined the group, Pat. There is so much. There's so many different techniques that I shall bring to you over the time and have already. And but it's just if you don't know about it, you know, if you don't know the name of something, then you can't search for it, can you? So I'll bring you all these little techniques. Some you'll love, some you'll hate. And hopefully over time you'll love this one as well. Tony loves it. Jolly good. It's jolly good. Yeah, Lindsay, you're doing okay, especially when you go sideways. Yeah, and you get really, when you go going sideways is not the easiest. Go a little bit slower. I think going sideways, I used to do it as well. You tend to push it a little bit first, faster, and then yeah, the stitches do go a bit loopy. Give it a go, Shirley. You will enjoy it. Perhaps not first of all, but you will once you get used to it. You'll be saying, "Oh, I'm going to do that." Now, me personally, I like doing something like this. It might be a little bit more daunting to do it on a quilt, but it can be done. It really can. So, these are the paints I used. Pebeo, a great brand. Sheena Douglas always used to do Pebeo, but Colour are the fabric ones. And I don't know whether, let's just see if you can see. Can you see that? Is that little sparkle? But you can see with me using a white on white fabric, you can see how there's a little bit of texture there where it doesn't colour the white of the white on white. No, I don't think you can. But it has got a little sparkle to it, which is really quite pretty. So, oh, Shirley's knows her. Yes, she is amazing. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, right, Amanda Hartman. I'll have a look at her. Haven't heard of her, Tony. Have a trip down the river. I mean, they've got bigger pots as well, but I just wanted a selection of colours. And you can mix them. Oh, there is white in there as well. You can mix them to make your own colours as well. So, not a problem at all. Oh, that's lovely, Gita. I'm glad you enjoy. But no, I just love giving everything a go. And if I give it a go, and if I can do it, I'm telling you, you can do it. Every time. I don't know what it is. I just have a passion. I still have a passion for learning. And as I say, I am nothing special. What was the name again? What, the paints? Those are the paints, or Helen Godden, or Amanda Hartman, as Tony said. So they're the paints. Pebeo Colour. Helen Godden is the artist extraordinaire, along with Amanda Hartman, who I shall look up tonight and have a look at, see what she's doing. So I'm nowhere near their abilities, but I enjoy doing it, and that's what it's all about. Oh, Vanessa, do you think that's accurate? It's playing. Doodle a little flower. Doodle a flower with a pencil. I should have done that and showed you to begin with. But if you doodle, Penrose, no, Pebeo, P-E-B-E-O. Can you see that there? Thank you, Sandra. Okay. Right. So, it is 20 to 8. I think it's time to go and get me some dinner. So what I'll say is enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend. I shall be back on Tuesday with Technique Tuesday in the Sew with Trisha group. I will actually be doing a little video to show the overlocker over the weekend. I will find time because, what are we today? The 18th to, there's just under 2 weeks until the draw for the amazing Bernina overlocker. So I need to show to see if there's more people who would like to take that opportunity. Hello, Karen. So I shall do that, but then I'll be back on Tuesday, Technique Tuesday, in the group to use that quick screen triangle grid with diamonds. I thought you'd like to learn something else along with the quick screen triangle grid. Then on Thursday, I shall have organised the next subscription box because I think I've missed a month out. And on Friday, we will be doing, oh, they do, Hobbycraft do them as well. You're right, Pat. Hobbycraft will do the Pebeo paints as well, if you're out and about. Yes, on Friday, I shall be doing a circular drawstring jewellery bag. So if you'd like to tune in then, the latter two will be on this page, So Totally Trisha page, and Technique Tuesday will be in the Sew with Trisha group. So thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate your company. I love it. And I will hope that you enjoy your weekend and we'll have decent weather, and I'll see you next week. So, bye for now.